Welcome back to my channel. So we have this Asian woman who responded to this black sister by trying to compare slave situations history when no other race endured chattel slavery. We all know that chattel slavery was brutal and monstrous on itself, such that no other race experienced it. So let's watch this video.
And I feel bad for y'all. Not that bad though, because your ancestors suck and you're stinky and evil. Anyways, for all the bleach demons willing to learn.
Bleach demons?
You're not as bad as the rest.
It's really surprising to me that she cannot hear the blatant racism in her own voice. Like, bleach demons? Really? Do you have a word for Asians as well? Do you have a word for black people as well? Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then be like, yeah, your ancestors enslaved mine hundreds of years ago. You're demons. And you know what? Newsflash, every culture kept slaves. The Chinese kept slaves, the Greek kept slaves, Native American kept slaves. And you know what the best part is? Native Africans kept slaves. They participated in the transatlantic slave trade by selling prisoners of war to Europeans. Nobody needs to be apologetic towards you. Get off your high horse. Also, white people, you need to step up. Stop self-deprecating because of your ancestors' sins. Stop apologizing for something that you didn't do.
I must admit that I've never seen one video teach this much, so I'll do 3 videos to break each race responding to this, like Asians, white people. I know white is not a race, but that's how I can group white people, black people. So be sure to watch all of them because each group had their own 2 cents. They gave their opinions. So guys, let's get into the stitches. Leave your own thoughts in the comment section below. I'll leave my own thoughts at the end of this video. Let's watch.
Non-black people need to mind their business. If anyone is on Twitter and saw the Jennifer Aniston and Jamie Foxx situation, which if you haven't, I will explain in another vid if you're interested, that would have all been resolved if non-black people just minded their business. Like, I don't need to have a word for Asian people and black people because historically, there's several. And I just want to put a disclaimer that this isn't a safe ground for discrimination on any marginalized groups, but I'm gonna really need non-black POC to mind their business when it comes to us. Because honestly, it's tired and it's sick. Like, y'all are out here, y'all being specifically Asian people, out here trying to get affirmative action overturned, getting it overturned, because what? You're anti-black? Like, and the biggest hate I've received from this whole situation, besides that of white supremacists, has been an Asian woman who also had a white partner. She was the person who called me colonized first. And that video got millions, or not video, that tweet got millions of interactions while having a white partner as well. Like, do we want to get into the history of the relationship between white people and black people versus white people and Asian people? Because we can get into that, but I don't think y'all are going to like it. And I think a lot of y'all don't realize that the rights you have today are on the backs of blacks. So keep it respectful and keep it cute. But also know your stats, know your facts, know your history, know your context. Because I don't know why people are acting like me making up a literal derogatory term called bleach demons is the same as historical derogatory slurs. Bleach demon isn't actually a thing. It's a random figment of my imagination. Like, I could call you mayo roach and it has no significance. So just call it quits and stop it. It's tired.
Your ancestors enslaved mine hundreds of years ago. You're demons. And you know what?
158 years if we're being exact, but let's continue. See, people like you are the problem and the reason why this country doesn't address the atrocities that happen to black people. You saying Africans sold Africans and not people from Nigeria sold people from the Congo is misleading as hell. You're trying to group an entire continent made up of 54 countries together like they're supposed to be under one rule. I love to leave out historical context, like right after slavery ended, there was laws put in place that mainly affected black people, and then slave catchers became police officers, and then there was Jim Crow laws, then there was the new black code, and then there was segregation, and then there was redlining, and then there was a school to prison pipeline, and then there was a crack epidemic, and then there was a war on drugs, and then we are still being over-policed today. And now we have places like Florida that are actively trying to rewrite history and say that it was beneficial to the enslaved people to be in slavery. Yes, at some point in history, people of every race were slaves. Every race didn't have their entire country ravaged by disease and famine. Their entire culture wasn't stripped away from them. They weren't put on breeding farms and forced to mate so that their children are now property of slavery. They're forced to pick 2 billion pounds of cotton a year and then just told to get over it. People are still actively discriminated against in jobs, the housing market, and any type of business deals. I like to say get over shit, but leave out all the context of what it actually is. But you want to perpetuate the model minority myth by acting like you're actually better than black people at the same time invalidating everything that they've gone through. I swear y'all far right, black, Asian, white, Mexican, all y'all far right ass people who are against black people have the same 7 talking points, and they've all been debunked. Y'all are dumb.
The blatant racism in her own voice, like.
Now, when he's speaking the truth, racism, you understand? Now, because you purposely chose to put yourself in the mix, to go and fight a battle that has nothing to do with you or yours, let me drop some context on you. Obviously, you are one of those pick-me's, you understand, who believes white is right, so forth, blah, blah, blah. Racism, again, was created by white folks, for white folks, spoke to white folks, and for the benefits of white folks only. Only. It doesn't include you, yours, me, mine's, or any members of the BIPOC community. You need to stop being a pick-me. Not everything white is right. Now you know.
Be like, yeah, your ancestors enslaved.
Well, this was stupid. Claiming that black people are using the race card. Sweetie, where did the race card come from? Come on, you can do it. Who invented the concept of race and categorizing people by the color of their skin and their features? Who did that? Was it black people? Did we create this whole infrastructure? Or are we playing the game that was put in before us that made us involuntary players? Sweetie, if you do not take yourself to a library and open a book about the civil rights movement that helps you understand why you have freedoms and rights to say such bullshit in this country, to get a better understanding of why you should be thanking black people today, please make yourself scarce and stay out of black people's business. Good day.
Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time.
Stuff like this angers me and pains me. Yes, I want unity. I want white people, Asian people, Latinos and black to live in unity. But unfortunately, we live in a world that everybody don't feel the way I feel, right? If you truly study, go listen to her video. And I'm trying to say this from a place of love. Please educate yourself on slavery pertaining to black people and read about some of the heinous things that was done to our ancestors, their skin being ripped from their bodies while they were alive, women's abdomen being cut open for no reason at all, sons having to be blindfolded and raping their own mothers just for the mere pleasure of a white person looking to mock them, their teeth pulled out of their head with no anesthesia just so it could be used as dentures, their skin taken from their body to be used as shoes and purse. And you are tired of black people using the racism card? And that's not even the half. Lake Lanai is a lake built based off of the death of an entire black town. Okay, the lake that people swim on for leisure and pleasure, beneath it are hundreds of black people who died for no reason other than they're black. Okay, read about the Tulsa massacre. Please, I beg you, go and read and see why black people today are still angry at the audacity of people like you coming on this internet telling us you're tired of us using the race card. We won't no longer use the race card when the race card no longer becomes relevant to be used. Okay, when you have stuff like affirmative action being thrown out, when you have people not getting grants and scholarships and admissions to job just because they're black, when you have people being called names and the cops being called on them just because they're black, when you have communities telling black people they don't belong there, you don't know their names, you don't know their bank accounts, but you're looking at them telling them they don't belong in that neighborhood just because they're black. So yeah, you might be tired of us using the race card. Guess what? I'm pretty sure we're tired of using it too. We're tired of having to ask why. Why are you doing this to us? Why are you saying this? Why are you cutting us off of these things? We're tired of it. We're tired of every time we meet a bar that is set above us, every time we rise to the occasion, the bar is moved and raised even higher. And you're tired of us using the race card? Ma'am, do not fight battles that you cannot relate to. You're neither white nor black. Sit this one out, baby. Please, okay? Again, I say this with love.
Okay, so here is why you need to shut your dirty mouth. Respectfully. It's very annoying and very convenient that certain people does like to pretend that they don't know anything about Jim Crow, about segregation, about the civil rights movement, everything. Like, oh, I'm fed up of black people talking about slavery. It was a long time ago. It's nothing to do with us. Jim Crow was their grandparents. It was some of them, it was their aunties, it was their parents, it was their dads. It wasn't that long ago, so stop the fucking gaslighting, because we're sick of it now. I can't imagine what it's like being an African American with every dickhead wanting to put your name in their mouth.
Like, bleach demons?
So, where do I begin? I'm very black. I say that to say, when it comes to racism, some folks continue to endorse, and I think it's because of overt ignorance. They choose to be here. They refuse to read. They refuse to be educated. Racism is systemic. It is crystallized. It's a system. Racism is not mean words. Racism is not hurt feelings. People continue to conflate a weird argument that doesn't exist, which is, I'm not racist because my best friend. You could probably have a best friend and still be racist. You can be married to a person and still be racist. You can have kids with a person and still be racist. Racism is systemic. When we talk about racism, we should be talking about systems, populations, not individualistic. I'm not racist because I have 5 good. No. You can't do that. And then on top of that, oh, you can hear the racism in her voice. Can she be prejudiced? But I think if anything, she's responding to historical trauma. She's she's responding from a place of fear, hurt, pain, destruction, and protection. But I bet you didn't read that, did you? You did not read how much it affected and how it still exists in current society. I already know based on what you shared and other things you've posted, you pretty much see yourself as white. You don't see yourself as a person of color. With that, it makes sense why your platform is the way it is. But just to let you know, they don't like you either.
Also, white people.
This is exactly why there shouldn't be BIPOC, because I realized that BIPOC is only a thing out of convenience for themselves, because they realize the power of black people. So they know that black people are going to fight harder for things that are right. So whenever IPOC or indigenous people of color decide that they want to go towards some type of justification, they know they're going to run to the black people for help. Why? Because the black people were also the ones that fought for civil rights and succeeded in that. So they know the power that comes with black folks. So they know that they need us black folks to get that power, to get those things done. Just like when the Asians were being attacked and they needed, solidarity. So we needed Stop Asian Hates, and there needs to be a BIPOC community. We need to be together. We need to work together. But the point is, the IPOC does not really have our back. The indigenous people of color, I'm not saying all of them, but too many of them to be alarming, do not have our back, to the point where they're like, oh, we're going to use you for now, but then talk crap about you after that and treat you like crap afterwards. That is not, it's not conducive to any type of success or beneficial to anybody. So I don't think BIPOC should be a thing until you guys have realized how to behave yourselves and give black people the credit where they deserve.
Africans kept saying.
All right, you did it to yourself. First and foremost, indentured servitude and slavery is 2 completely different things. That's number 1, with your miseducated ass. On top of that, your demographic has been known, okay? When I say known, I mean known to be racist. In every inner city community, I don't know not one black person who has been in y'all store and has not been followed, as if they're not putting your kids through college. You guys are evil to the same community who have built you up. What, you think you came over here with all that shit? You didn't. And let's not talk about Latasha Walker, who was shot in the back, literally, over orange juice when she had money to pay for the orange juice. And it sparked a whole entire riot in the 1990s in LA. Let's not talk about how black people are treated when we go to y'all countries. And when I say y'all, I mean Asian countries. Let's not talk about the racist Asian commercials that you guys have, washing a black man and turning him into an Asian man. Oh, y'all want proof? Hold on, give me one sec. This y'all? This what y'all do over there? Wow. This y'all, huh? The black people racist. Okay. And and if that's not evidence enough, there's 1,000 commercials that I could find that are just like this. And what the Asian community doesn't realize, it wasn't black people who were responsible for Hiroshima. It wasn't black people who was responsible for the atomic bomb. It wasn't black people who was responsible for a lot of the Asian hate crimes that happened to y'all from the beginning when they had a no Japs, no colored, or no Hispanics allowed sign everywhere. You think black people was responsible for that? We weren't. We were not responsible for putting y'all in concentration camps. We are not the enemy, honey. We are not. Y'all are worried about the wrong shit. And what kills me even more, she was actually proud to say the shit that she said in this video, and it just bugs me. It just bugs me. Like, first of all, you don't even understand what you are doing and how far you are setting back communities of people. Like, y'all already have a reputation of being racist, honey. I don't know what world you're living in, but the Asian community is one of the most racist communities that there is. Y'all are just as racist as white people, and you cannot get mad for black people for publicly stating the trauma that you have caused and publicly stating what you guys are responsible for doing in our communities. In our communities that you came and colonized. Stop it. And bought up all of the stores and the property in the hood. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all are killing me with this shit. Y'all are killing me. Just laying me out.
Yeah, your ancestors.
You know, at this point, I am no longer disappointed when I see members of other marginalized communities taking up the cause for white supremacy. I am no longer even bothered. It's not even shocking to me anymore. I mean, I could have started this video by asking you who was it that created the race card in the first place, but I know you didn't want to have an answer. Just like I also know you don't have an answer for how offended you are that a black woman calls somebody a bleach demon. But I notice that you have no problem when people that look like me are called insults as well. By those same people who you're taking up for, you know. I understand. Where were you when they was calling George Floyd a gorilla? Where were you when people were using a monkey filter and talk about how they are now African Americans? I noticed I didn't see anything from you. But you do know those same people that you take up for against us, they talk about you too, right? You know that, right? In fact, there was a white woman on here that was not too long ago that came up with a brand new fucking song. What was it called? Oh, that's right. I want to be ninja. Those same people who you're wearing the cape for either see you as the model minority or they see you as something exotic and oriental, as they like to call it. But I noticed you ain't got no smoke for them. Not at all. Just quiet, huh? I get it. I understand it. I really do. If I close my eyes and watch your entire video, it sounds exactly like what a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white supremacist would say. Then I open my eyes and I see you taking up the cause for them. Because you think the same people that are in your comment section that are patting you on the back respect you because you're doing that? Really? You're that delusional? Okay. Like I've said before, Coonesian is not a race, it's a state of mind. Anyone who finds himself in a marginalized community that wants to take up for the people who are the reason we're in marginalized communities in the first place, I call them Coonesians. Just know, while you're sitting here trying to chastise black folk, they don't like you either. They're never going to pick you. And some of the things that they say about you behind your back are just as offensive as bleach demon.
Okay, so here are my 2 cents concerning this video, the main video. I don't want to feel left out, So this lady just woke up one day and decided to be, anti-black and anti-native in the same video. Let's do a quick educating. So pre-colonial slavery cannot be compared to, the horrors of chattel slavery in the slightest. This is laughable. Native American people are not a monolith. By the way, I started this, yeah. But generally, the difference is that these types of slaves were not the same race of people that were usually caught during wars. War prisoners, not slaves. They had access to food, by the way, and water. Generally, were not beaten or horrendously disfigured. If she was talking about the 5 civilized tribes that did participate in chattel slavery of black people, then yeah, that came about because of colonization. Meanwhile, the first people who endured the horrors of being slaves to European people, being cut up for, the sake of sharpening people's knives, were Native American people. African and native slaves were not allowed to marry within their own race a lot of times, and so that's how we got so many African indigenous cultures out of specifically chattel slavery. This is tiring. I mean, guys, please let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Let's talk about this. Let's discuss. And by the way, I do not promote, violence on this channel. So let's be peaceful in the comment section below, please. Google is free. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll definitely see you in my next video. Peace.